Be live on Reddit. I think so. Indeed. And greetings out to you. You. Beloved and holy friend, thank you for joining me here again, right? Like you are, maybe in a different here than I was, but I'm in the same here that I am now. I'm gonna be here again in a bit. I'm gonna go get my bottle of water, maybe some other things, and then I'll see you in a sec. Yeah. Yes, sick it. Everything seems to be working. Shana na 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 na. Shana na 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 na. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna be back in a second. Maybe that's how we're feeling today, Shan. Love, 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 you, you. Damn. Thank you for being here again, beloved friends. Clear skies today. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just right. Day 590. Nice. That's pretty nice. I'm just gonna see if I can get my stuff to balance. Yes. Get this there. Get my book of things worth saying. See you, Maxine, out in the distance, all the way on the other side of infinity. See thee. Thank you for joining me, Maxine. What you are, Maxine, this one is specifically for you. What you are in your essential being is God herself. It says it here, dude. It says it here, Maxine. I saw your name, and then I opened this book, and this is the first thing that popped out into my face. What you are in your essential being is God herself. And everything else flows from that. Your body, your mind, your experiences, all starting from the same place. Right now. Right now. And it goes throughout infinity. Right now never is never not right now. It's always right now, no matter where you go. And yet here you are, in this right now with me. I want to talk today about gratitude, like really, always like radical gratitude, extreme gratitude. I've been in this loop for a while now, and the more I get into it, the better it gets. I don't know if it gets better as in the gratitude gets better or life gets better, but I feel both are going to happen. As life gets better, it's almost like we have a harder time being grateful at the same time, which is a little bit, paradoxical. I could use some of that energy. Not to you, Shad. Thank you, Javad, for joining us as well. Infinite love. And then again, infinite love. And then again, infinite love. And then infinite on top of all of that love again. Hello, friend. Thank you for joining me in this moment. Mm. Ermias Plur, absolute magic in a cup right now. Whew. Extreme gratitude. So, I was thinking of it from this perspective of being a kid. How it's almost like if you give kids whatever it is they want always, that they maybe not lose the ability to be grateful, but they become desensitized to the ability to be grateful for things. Like certain things just don't hit the same anymore. after you've gotten it. You know, like there's this beautiful Stoic quote. I think it's a Stoic quote that goes, uh, "Few things are as grand to hold as they are to want," or something like that. You know, whereas this genuine acknowledgement of wanting something, you know, you've convinced yourself that you want this thing, you know, a new tool. Yeah, a new tool. You know, for me, at this point in my life, it's a tablet. You know, I want a tablet so I can draw with. But in my mind, you know, I have this whole fractal of I have this tablet and I'm spending an hour a day, you know, sketching, and I'm like getting better and better at these sketches, and then I get so good to the point where I can do something with these sketches, and then eventually, you know, a year passes and I manifest this device, this desire into my life, and then I'm kind of faced with the reality of now I have to do all of the things that I imagined I could do. Instead of just imagining me doing them, now I have to actually do them. You know, I didn't sign up for this, did I? Yes. Yes, you did sign up for that. And it really is this beautiful fractal of realizing that instead of wanting for more things, the only thing that we can do to appreciate the things that we have is just to be grateful for them. You know, to be grateful for them from a point of almost being manic about it. Like I feel like I'm actually manic about my gratitude. You know, like I have this ritual at night where I say thank you for fire, say thank you for earth, say thank you for air, say thank you for water. And like these are the beans Maxine actually added the liquid gold method to it for me, where on top of saying thank you for all of these things, these elements, you also say thank you for a color within the element, a smell within the element, a sound within the element, and I've added also a feeling within the element. And then I go through this whole pattern, and like as I'm going through it, I'm just going through this loop of like thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, so thank you, so thank you much, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, I give it back, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I get into this like loop, and it almost feels like insanity in a way. And yet, when I'm in that space, nothing is wrong. Nothing needs to be desired. Nothing needs to be gotten. Nothing is wrong in that moment of extreme gratitude. And I wonder, you know, is that going to be the thing that really desolates us? Is getting so many things that we get so desensitized to the having of things. You know, like think about instant manifestation, for example. You know, like maybe 100 years into our future, we figure out how to make fabricators. So as fast as you can think things, you can manifest them right in front of you. And there is this beautiful story about a man that kind of just goes wandering in the outside, if you will. You know, wanders around and then finds himself suddenly in paradise, in heaven on earth. And he sits underneath a tree and he thinks to himself, man, you know, I'm kind of hungry. And as he thinks of all of these delicious meals, they manifest in front of him, and he eats, you know, because he's hungry. And after he basically eats himself full, he thinks to himself, that was nice. I would like to have something. I would like to have something to drink, you know, to kind of wash it down with. And as he can think of all of these drinks to drink, they appear in front of him as well. And with himself completely fed, completely taken care of, suddenly there was this moment within him that questioned. Instead of spending time in gratitude for this ability to manifest something instantaneously, he started questioning it and thought to himself, well, you know, it must be some sort of trick. There must be some demons out here, you know, doing all of these things. And as he thought to himself, there must be demons out here doing all of these things, demons started to appear. And as he saw these demons, he got terrified and he told himself, man, these demons are probably going to torture me. And the demons started torturing him. And he started screaming out in pain and he told himself, man, these demons are going to freaking kill me. And then he died. And like to me, that is almost like the analogy of what we're doing as humanity right now, where we have figured out this ability to manifest, and yet we're still choosing to manifest things that we don't want. We're perpetuating things that we don't want. We're saying things that we don't want to believe. You know, coming back to that whole point, saying thank you to the universe is the best thing you can say to the universe. It's what you want the universe to believe. You want the universe to believe you are extremely grateful. Not only the universe as the whole, but the universe as the ones in your life. You know, the universe as your puppy, The universe as your plants, the universe as your parents. All of it's the universe and it's expressed in different, forms and different fractals, and yet it's the same you. It's the same you. Be grateful for it, friends. Thank you for coming to my rant. I went through that a year and a half ago. I was suffering from heartbreak and couldn't enjoy my blessings. I prayed deeply to have God help me feel the weight of my blessings. It worked. I'm so grateful I tear up when thinking about my life. Yes. Oh, if that isn't anecdotal, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Maxine. Gratitude. That is something worth saying, something that you want to believe in. If there's anything, I know. I like your shirt. Thank you for that. I unfortunately didn't see Javan's shirt. I mean, I did see it, but I didn't look at it, I guess. I wondered during the session if you'd, if you'd recognize it. You're the coolest. It was specifically for Shan, it seems. I'm happy so. Oh, I did. I'd recognize the heart anywhere instantly. No, you're the coolest. No, you two. You two. Seeing each other's coolness to me from the external side. That is the coolest, yes. I have dubbed the you two as the actual coolest. Thank you. I feel for some reason like the King Solomon story for a second. Two mothers kind of show up at a king's quarters. I don't know how to say it, and one of them lost their baby, and the other one replaced her baby, her dead baby, with the live one of the other woman. And they came to the king asking, how to resolve the issue. And the king instantly, basically, swept up and told him that he's going to cut the baby in half so each of them can have a piece. One of the women was like, okay with that. The other woman pleaded with the king so that the other woman can have the baby just so that the baby can continue to live. That she's willing to give the baby away if the baby can continue to live, obviously deducting that that is the real mother. So, in this moment, I am deducting that you two are, in fact, the coolest. So much love to you. We the coolest. I love you, Fred, so much. Thank you for letting me love you. Stephanie Rose, how nice of you to give me a silver out of all of the posts. So many posts on Reddit right now. You chose to give me that silver, friend. I appreciate that. Terp Terp NATO, interesting username. Cheers to you too, friends. Nice to have you. I went through the same thing. It took me 2 years to become grateful for my life and to have the want as well as the will to enjoy life. Thank you for making that transition, friend. Thank you for showing us it's possible. I feel when I had my initial breakup as well, there was not a lot to be grateful for because suddenly you feel like your whole world goes away with it, right? We spend so much mental energy in relationships that the relationship itself, right, like the act of having a person in your life and being able to be intimate with them, getting to share your life and the growth of your life with them, all of that is fair and good and all. But I feel like the biggest thing that's devastating about relationships and them ending is the fact that we lose all of this imagined life. We lose all of this imagined experience, what we think, what we thought things should be like, and it can feel like such a devastating loss. It can feel like we lost everything, and as a result of that, it can be very difficult to come back to that set of gratitude. Mm, hmm. You didn't lose anything technically. I guess that's a joke that I'm really realizing as well. I'm reaching a point where every single time, I project a sense of life, if I'm like, yeah, this person and maybe so and so can happen and such, then it like inevitably ends in suffering, where it's just like, oh, look at that, all of these things that I thought was gonna happen just doesn't. All of these expectations I thought I had went unmet. It raises questions in me of whether or not we're not supposed to have expectations, or if we're supposed to keep looking until someone can meet our expectations. It's it's difficult as well. Gratitude in this moment for what is. The secret I found to truly feel in your heart when thinking about all your blessings is you exercise that every day and it becomes a part of you. You're about to sustain. all your blessings. Maxine, thank you for manifesting that as well. So easy to focus on lack while taking blessings for granted. Mojo, oh yeah, it's uh, it's one of the things we definitely have to work on as a collective humanity. The ability to notice the things that we have to be grateful for above the things we don't have. You know, like it's okay to notice the things you don't have. It's okay to say something about it. It's okay to try and make a difference. But it has to come from a place of extreme gratitude for what you have first. Because if it doesn't, it always ends in ruin. You know, it ends in ruin in the way where even if you end up getting the things that you think you want, if you couldn't practice extreme gratitude for for what you have in the first place, you're not going to feel any different when you do get the thing that you think you want. And yo, like that's been a lesson I've been learning forever. It never stops teaching you. So nice to have you friends here. Agree. I love you friends. To being as cool as Shan and Jovan. You know, I don't know if it's possible, but we can all try. You know, we can hope that we can maybe one day be as cool as Shannon and Nana and the Joe Bot. That freaking dial-up. Like this morning, waking up, Jovan, as I was going through my thank yous, I was like, yeah, freaking dial-up. Shooting back into gratitude. To gratitude, friends. To extreme gratitude. Thank you, universe. Thank you, water. Thank you, earth, for providing the weed. Thank you, air, for being sucked through the bong. I'm sorry, air. I kind of wrecked that one. And thank you, fire. Thank you, me, for allowing this moment to. Yes, sirree. That is gonna do it to me. There it comes. There we go. Set. Mostly settled, at least. Gratitude. What an experience. You know, I got to have. I feel a very mature chat with my dad last night, and things changed. A lot of things changed really quickly, and I noticed how ons het heel dag water gehad. Ons het heel dag water gehad. Water gehad. And I noticed how, you know, again, of the ability to manifest things. You, dear friend, if you're hearing these words right now, means you have manifested yourself into this moment, literally. You had your entire existence, being born, growing up, being a kid, you know, going to high school, maybe still being in high school, and then finding yourself in this moment, everything you've done, manifesting this moment. And from this moment on, you will continue to manifest. But if you cannot acknowledge the things that you've manifested, and if you cannot be grateful for having manifested, then it's not going to do anything. And what's the point then? You know, and I felt that in myself today, where I noticed how something became manifest, and initially there was a part of me that almost felt like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. Obviously, you know, no problems here. And then when I noticed that space, you know, I noticed something within myself. I noticed something within humanity, almost this justification, you know, like a sense of pride, a sense of standing back and being like, yeah, 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 you know, really getting back into it. And I feel it really is this separation. Like even the way that my body language was trying to communicate it, it is a separation instead of a gratitude and embracing a acknowledgement of something that has happened. It is a pulling away from it, having seen it happen. And now, and I wonder, and this is maybe, could maybe serve you as a thought idea as well. But I think it may be because we're scared of losing power. After having made something manifest, for some reason, we have it in our, I don't know if it's coded into our DNA at this point, but we have it in us that if you say thank you, if you acknowledge, if you appreciate deeply the thing or the experience, there's like a sense of you being lost or you losing or you giving away the upper hand. And I wonder why that is. Why do we care about something like that? Maybe again, on this note of the upper hand, it could be when you lose that upper hand, that power, you also lose the ability to manifest things. So you may notice, oh, I've manifested this thing. But then in acknowledging yourself in that, the role you've played in that, the work that you've done in that, you may doubt yourself in doing it again, or you may make the other person doubt in doing it for you again. I don't know if these analogies are landing. I hope they are. I'm trying to speak broadly so that I can hit as many of you friends as possible with this idea. I hope it serves you. It's something that I've noticed within me. And even though gratitude has been something I try to practice more than anything, it's still difficult for me to be grateful for the things we take for granted. Very beautifully said by one of our friends, Mojo. Like we take so many things for granted. Taking the fact that we have electricity, the fact that you're seeing this right now probably means that you have a device, unless you're 10,000 years in the future and you're just like interfacing with this space of your mind. And that's a whole trip. Even you, friend, here now, having manifested yourself into this space, we have so many things that we are taking for granted. So many things. Just like one of the things that I really try to bring myself back to is the fact that we have blankets. Like for thousands of years, a blanket was like literally the highest tech on the planet. Like if you had a blanket, that is like a whole trip, dude. Imagine going on an adventure somewhere. Everywhere you go, everywhere it gets cold, you have to make a fire just to stay alive throughout the night. And then, one of these beings just takes out a basic as like common blanket that we have right now. Being able to wrap yourself up in something like that. Like just that, like we take stuff like that for granted all the time. All the time. And I feel our body doesn't. Like think about the experience that you feel. If you were cold and you put a blanket over yourself, instantly your body rushes you with feel good chemicals. It's like, yeah, good job. Good job. We like blanket. Yeah, good job. And you can feel good for that for a moment, if you will. That dopamine spike that you get, maybe. But it's the willingness to be grateful. That your body is a grateful entity, almost like on a base level. If you feed your body good food, if you exercise, if you take your body out for walks, I like to say these days, take your body for walks, like a pet, like an actual pet. Give it enough water, let it sleep enough, give it some rest. Then it will love you right back. It'll manifest things that you didn't even know possible. Within the last year, I've learned to start manifesting. I'm able to sustain and maintain manifestations. It's helped alleviate the anxiety of losing what I've created. It's helped build a foundation for myself. Yo, like as I was reading your message, Maxine, Uncle Becky's wisdom came through to me as well. His teaching of you don't get to keep anything. Like you really don't get to keep anything. That you don't even get to keep. The only thing you get to take is this breath, and even that you have to give back. So like That's how I've been trying to lean into this fear of losing things that I've manifested. It's not mine. Not really, you know. And when I die, I'm going to give that back as well. When I die, I lose nothing. None of us lose anything ever. Miss Molly, good day to you too. You've been so missed. I think I mentioned you 2 days ago on stream. I'm sending you some love. It's nice to have you here now. Mm. Day 4 on vacation, wedding today at a lodge in the woods. I'm grateful every day, and I thank grandfather for my many blessings. It is it sets my mood for the day. I am grateful for this community. We are grateful for you, Miss Molly. I'm so happy to hear you're having a good day. Have an amazing time at the wedding. Send love to everyone you see there. Be your beautiful self in that space. Thank you for being your beautiful self in this one. It's nice to see you, even for a moment, friend. Rambler, again, friend. So nice to have you here as well. How are you doing? How's life been treating you? I woke up to a regular alarm. It didn't feel right. Literally, the first thought of the morning. Tuning into the frequencies. I freaking love her voice. My mom's? Me too. She has a beautiful voice. My mom is my first guru, you know? Like, the closest that I've come to accepting someone as my guru, my mom was that to me as a kid growing up. You know, I wanted to say half the man. Probably like I wouldn't be, 1/10 of the man I am right now if it wasn't for my mom's guidance. Nature versus nurture, right? It does make a difference. We find ourselves in a weird nature with a difficult nurture. But we also, at the same time, have beings on this planet that take into consideration that nurture more so than ever. Conversation that was had by myself and my dad last night was this topic of having a family, where he said to me that, oh, I'll understand, when I have a family. And I told him that at this point I don't think I am having a family. Like if life has shown me something, it's that I'm apparently not suitable. Not right now, I guess. Like I still apparently need to do a bunch of things before I will be suitable, and I'll have the finances, to be able to do so. And he mentioned that it's not about finances, it's about choices, whether or not you have a family. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a bad choice if you don't consider the finances. And he told me, yeah, there's something wrong with your perspective. And I told him there's nothing wrong with my perspective. Because if my perspective is one of loving my future kids so much, like the kids I don't even have right now, to love them so much that I would want to manifest the world that I would want them to live in before bringing them into it. That is that to me is not a bad perspective to have, and I feel more and more people are kind of coming into that perspective now. Like we're getting to be those nodes, those those loving parents, those gurus to our kids. Gateway process. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us, friend. How are you feeling today? Thank you, Shan, for sharing love as well. You can take anything with you when you pass on, but that doesn't mean you can't create your dream life whenever you're here. We were put here to experience and have desires. A great part of the journey is the wanting, not the having. I feel it's all a part of the experience worth having, right? And I do agree with that, Maxine. And I do want a bunch of things too. I promise you, I do want a bunch of things. I've just noticed that I get more out of being grateful for what I have than wanting more and getting more as well. I've noticed now over and over again, the more I get doesn't make me more happy. The more I'm grateful for what I have makes me more happy. So I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. I'm just saying that I feel with everything, it's another play on balance. That it's almost like they bleed into one another. that from that state of effortless ease, of extreme gratitude for what you have in this moment, more flows. Where instead of having to actively strive for something, want for something, almost, proclaiming to the universe in wanting something that you don't have it, right? It is in the universe. Anything you want right now, just like think about that for a second. Anything you want exists. That might, especially in this community, might not be the truth for all of us because some of us want things that don't exist right now, all right? But it will probably, and you will probably manifest it. If not you, us as a collective humanity will eventually manifest it. So holding this understanding that these things that you want are being had, right? Like these things that exist, these things that you think you need. Let's take a house for example, right? Some of us would like to manifest a home. Within this understanding, within this feeling of wanting to manifest a home, we can be grateful for the home we have in a way where we acknowledge the universe that we have a home, not wanting something outside of this home, not practicing gratitude for our home because we don't have the home we want, but instead being in that extreme state of gratitude for our home, and then kind of like leaning towards the home that it is we desire in ourselves. And then from that place of ease, from that place of kind of like stillness, we basically realize the means to which we're going to get to that initial place, and the thing for me is you're technically already home. You technically are home right now, wherever it is you are, wherever it is you go, you're going to be home. Like this initially, this part of you is your home. This is where your soul lives, and then everything else is but an extension of that. These things that we want exist as an extension of you as well. It's just about getting there, taking the steps. I'm tripping about the first person that ever got to use a blanket. A straight baller, right? Right, Randler? Like, that's a whole thing in your mind, dude. Like, that's like a, next level of humanity type of step, dude. Like, there should be like a notification, little achievement that pops up above his head or something. I found you can manifest things that are not material. I've personally asked for mystical experience, laughter, excitement, good conversation. There we go. So, and again, mystical experience, laughter, excitement, good conversation exists within infinity. So to want something, not from the perspective of, oh, I don't have this thing, right? To want something from the perspective of, these things exist. They do. Absolutely, unequivocally, undeniably. These things exist. Homes, vehicles, partners, children, right? You can't go and extract children from the infinity, but you can bring children into the infinity. They exist. The possibility thereof exists. It's just about allowing that now, being in a state of so much gratitude, like it's already here, and then being a node, being a gravity point for that to flow to. No matter where you go, Mama Earth is always under your feet. She's our home, unless you get shot into space. Like after that conversation we had on stream about every single person who has an intention to do like extreme polluting damage to our planet, like someone that greedily signs like another like oil contract deal, knowing that they're gonna get like a $40 million payout for it or something, and like salivating, signing this thing, so ready to get their money so they can think that they're happy, think that they're secure. And then as soon as they walk outside the building, the universe is just like, yeah. Or actually, before they walk into the building, the universe is just like, or the planet is just like, no more gravity for you. Flings them at like 60,000 kilometers per hour. I mean, oh goodness. I don't know if you want to die by inertia necessarily. Might be more humane that way. I'm diving too deep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If all of the gravity suddenly gets turned off, you might just have things broken, so you could like switch off quickly and then just get inert matter flicked into the space. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mama Nature holds on to all of us, fortunately. Even the bad. All of us. I never wanted to have a child the way I did. I couldn't even take care of myself, but I did it, and it was the best thing that I could have happened to me. I've been able to learn so much more than I would have it happen the way I would have wanted it to happen. Comes to me very strongly of this idea of nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. That every single one of the experiences we've had up until this point was so that we can have this experience right now, is so that we can have the experiences that we'll have in the future. Beautiful and bad, all of it with an infinity. I'm happy. For what it's worth, Shanna, I see you as a beautiful mom, my friend. My car broke down yesterday on my way home from work, and I was stranded in the middle of nowhere for a few hours. It was so hot, stressful, but I was so zen through it. Already tired and dehydrated. My dad came and fixed it. Gratitude is flowing from my toes to the sky, and I woke up smiling. Yes, gateway process. Like, I don't think you were dehydrated or tired. I just think you were present, right? You were like, oh, I guess this is how it is now, and I can scream at the universe for it, or I can be like, okay, here it is. And it can be kind of like tired, lethargic, slow almost, but that state is to me the molten state, that deep, true, a good impression of me mouth. I can feel it. Gateway process. Thank you for being that node in the universe. And I feel, and this is my woo-woo thinking, but I feel you reacting in that way is literally showing the universe, showing all of humanity, our collective consciousness, that there is a different way of being, that there is a different way of being. And even though there might not be a camera crew filming you, broadcasting that to the whole world, you are connected to the whole world in the same way that all of us are. It's the 1% monkey hypothesis. Have you heard the 1% monkey hypothesis? Gateway process? No? Okay. It goes that there is 100 monkeys on an island, and scientists are studying these monkeys. So they basically get, of course. Have you know the 100 monkey hypothesis? I'm good. I'm happy to hear that. Well, I'll tell it to the friends who haven't heard it before. So these 100 monkeys on the island basically have a boatload of peeled potatoes dropped on the sandy beach, and all of the monkeys kind of come up to these potatoes, picking up these sandy potatoes. Since they're peeled, they were kind of wet, and there's just like a bunch of sand sticking to these potatoes, and they try to eat it, but that much sand to potato ratio is just not a vibe. So they start dropping the potatoes, and then one of the 100 monkeys takes the potato, walks closer to the ocean water, washes the potato, and then eats it. And then suddenly, a switch goes off in every single one of the monkeys. Not all of the monkeys got to witness that monkey doing that at the same time, but some of them did. And then all of them did. And then all of them could wash their potatoes and actually eat, instead of just letting this resource, if you will, go to waste. And that is what we're doing as a collective. I believe that's what this community is doing. We're that 1% monkey that's willing to go and wash the potatoes instead of just abandoning it because there's no hope, surely. Oh, there's no hope. Just, oh well, guess we're gonna starve to death. And then there's the one monkey being like, nah, fam, we can wash these things. Thank you for being one of the 1% monkey gateway process. I appreciate you, friend. Thank you for bringing peace into this world instead of more angst. It's not always easy, but we can always try. When I want for things, I tend to want the goodness out of them. It's a lot easier to want a thing until we experience the full infinity and have to accept the disadvantage side of that too. Beautifully said, Jovan. And it brings me back to that whole analogy of having this idea about something we want. You know, for me, it's a it's a device with which I can draw. So the device with which I can draw and the imagination of drawing on a device big enough to actually draw on That is good stuff, advantageous in my imagination. But then having an hour less a day, having to spend an hour a day, or at least to me in my mind, actually practicing, getting good at the skill that I want to learn, that is again now a disadvantage where this is something that I'm going to have to do, and it might not be something that is always fun to do. it is it is always an experience, and only when we have manifested the fractal do we get to experience the full infinity. When it is unmanifested, our information is limited, I guess. I feel like wanting for something results in expectations, especially the expectations with what is going to happen as a result of, right? Oh, I'm gonna get this thing, and then something, something, something. Kind of brings me back to that whole analogy of the shoes chat we had, right? Oh, I'm gonna get the shoes, and then I'm gonna go on my walk. Not realizing that you can go on the walk, it might be more uncomfortable going on the walk without shoes. But the shoes isn't going to make the walk any better if you're not willing to pay attention to the trees around you. Beansy, beansy beans. Love you too. 888 on my screen. Harvest rewards. Only vibration. I've been seeing a double eight a lot recently, and after seeing double eight, a lot of like harvest came in to say it in that way, Maxine. This though, there are things we should want. Experiences, not things. There we go. We should want loving experiences with friends. We should want good conversations. We should want loving moments of understanding and acceptance. We should want focus. These are the things that we really should be striving for. Uncle Becker's joining us. I am a one percenter. Yes, you are, Miss Molly, without a doubt. I feel you, Melty, about not wanting to bring children into the world without substantial amounts of money. I don't want to bring my kids into poverty nor spoil them. I want them to experience a solid foundation early in life. I feel we all want that, Maxine. And I do believe that with this community that we've built, we're going to manifest that. Not only want that, like that is literally what we're building on right now. The ideas I've been having, like I feel scared to share it with your friends because it sounds so out there, but I have plans. I have lots of plans. I'm going to make sure you friends are taken care of. Fortunately, the internet remembers everything. The internet remembers you friends perfectly. And I will too. Mark my words. I will remember everything. I will be just as loving, just as generous. Yes, it took me a long time to think about that word. I need to use it even more. Generosity. I will be just as generous as you friends have been with me. Hopefully, even more. Even well more. Again, happy Saturday to you, Uncle Beckers. How are you doing, Brandon? You get to do it. Yes. Yes, get to do it. Rex Dog, hi to you, friend from across the world, too. How are you? How are you feeling? How's life treating you? How are you treating yourself, Rex? I have been kicking my own ass as of late, dude. But I've only been kicking my own ass because I know I can take an ass kicking. You know? Yes, see, bro. I'm doing volume. I'm doing so much volume right now. Moving a lot of weight. I want to get so strong, yo. I want to get dangerously strong. I want to be able to rip electrons from atoms out of the air. Is that too much? Maybe. We can hope, right? It's my version of reaching for the stars and then falling somewhere on the moon. Want to be so strong I can rip electrons from their their atoms, but that's a little bit much. Like it wouldn't technically be nuclear, right? Only when you split the protons from the neutrons would you go nuclear. What would happen if you just rip electrons from it? I just feel there would be lightning, straight up lightning, you know, cutting through the air. Like if you could actually close your hands so fast you rip electrons from the air, they would just be this or like arcing around your fist. The blanket thought is definitely a good one. Really helps me be grateful for everything I have. It's so easy to take things for granted. The little things are really the most important. Rambler. Thank you, friend, for tuning into the thing I'm trying to share today. This extreme gratitude that we can practice, right? And a blanket is a small one. Like for me, I look at things like this, you know? Like I've been using this bottle now again. The things that I use over and over again, you know, like those are usually the things I almost reach a point of taking for grantedness. So to be grateful. This is a gift from Christian. So like this is a gift from Christian. Looks for more gifts from Christian. Out of all of the people that have given me a lot of gifts, like Christian seems to be the friend that is like rapid fire. I'm planning on making him like a beautiful work of art. I need to get started on that. I want to give it to him, but the next time I see him, yeah, 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 yeah. Christian, that dude, generous soul. I want to be able to give back to him as well. I've been attempting to replace the word have with the word get. Everything is a blessing, even the chores. I have to do this. I get to do this. I've been doing that as well, interestingly enough. I haven't been using the word get though. I've been using the word want, actually. You know, like that's I've been trying to take it as like a as an empowerment almost. You know, for me it's with baking, Uncle Becky. I don't particularly enjoy doing that. And I have to do it a lot. You know, like more than I like to admit for some reason. But baking for me was one of those things where at one point I had so much internal turmoil of like this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing right now was the loop perpetuating in my head. And then I reached this point of wanting to do things, like really wanting to, almost like taking a sense of pride, a sense of, you know, gratitude to be able to do something, you know, and doing it well, doing it really well. Unfortunately, it comes with the caveat of kicking my own ass when I don't do it well. Balance in all things. You did it. You didn't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, I don't do anything because I have to do it. Again, I do it because I want to. I want to do things. I get to as well. Of course, always. I get to. From a place of gratitude. I get to. But to want to do things for other people, to take a sense of pride in doing good things for other people, you want to. Yeah, exactly. It's the best place to be, Brother Bear. You know, and it's the same thing with this space. That I get to do this, you know, surely. I get to be Meltmore, whatever that means. And I don't have to do this. Like I can stop right now if I wanted to. But I so not desperately, so lovingly want to be in this space with you, friends. Want to keep showing up in this way, want to see the growth of this community, want to see you, friends, freed. That's like the thing that I've been tripping out about the most as of late. I want to see you, friends, freed completely from this financial worry, from this experience of lack, from the inability to completely manifest your creative imagination. That is my current obsession. Is how do I free us? How do I free us? How do I free us? What can I do? Like my current best solution is gonna be some sort of crypto network, you know. And I've shared this with you friends before, where every single one of us will become a node on this network, like we already are technically. And then we can, within this node, as a network, make a certain percentage of our total funds, of our total wealth, of our total abundance available to the community. And if there's enough of us, the trust factor will go away, but initially it's going to be the ones of us that have proved ourselves, right? Like you friends have been here, so you are going to be the ones that get to benefit from that first. And your names are remembered on the internet, and everything you've said are remembered on the internet forever as well. So that's kind of easy to figure out a way for it to be just, if that makes any sense. And then from this perspective, because there will be so many of us, we will literally be a bank as a collective. This percentage of our own wealth we make available to the community, with each and every single extra person that adds to that as a node, that is going to be a growing abundance, an infinitely growing abundance. And if there's anyone that needs something desperately and cannot manifest that from their own abundance, that percentage that they've contributed this whole time gives them an access point. How much they can access as a contribution, right? You can even do it like percentage to percentage, as in if you're willing, that's difficult. I think the highest we could go is 44%. If you are willing to completely open your abundance 44% to the infinite abundance, you can pull 44% from that source of infinite abundance, if it's necessary, right? Like, I need this expensive surgery. I cannot manifest it with my abundance currently. I can pull from this 44% reserve. Joink, all of us, our kids taken care of, our housing taken care of, our food taken care of, our transport taken care of, because there's going to be a network of support. It's a way different way of considering actual finances, and technically it's already being done right now. The only thing that we do is that we give our money to the bank, right? So you might think that you have a certain X amount of abundance, but that's not your money. The bank owes you that money. When you give your money to the bank, it's the bank's money now. Like, literally, you can go and look this up. It's literally the bank's money. They give you an IOU for that money, but it's not your money anymore. So I believe the future of this community is going to be its own bank. We are going to be the bank. We are going to decide where abundance is supposed to go for the community, from the community, as the community. And it's going to be different. Significantly different. But it is going to be a lot more powerful than this top down a group that is like out of reach. We don't know who these people are, right? If it's all of us, we know exactly who all of us are. But if it's this group who is holding on to our wealth somewhere there, out there, that is not the way we get to continue. Maxine says, that was how I felt when I got stuck in North Dakota. I'm not supposed to be here. Once I accept where I was, the abundance and happiness flowed effortlessly. That I'm not supposed to, right? I shouldn't be, I should have, it's never beneficial to me. Thank you, Maxine, for sharing that as well. Meltmore means to show up for people and others daily, perpetual, no end quote. No end. Melt more, right? And it really is that, Brother Bay, where this is a melting experience to me. I give you friends more than I give my parents sometimes. I unpack the deepest, darkest corners of my soul to you friends. And we get to look at these things and experience what needs to change in that places. And it is melting, right? Like, I've had to be humbled, I've had to be embarrassed, I've had to be silly so many times, and it really is this melting experience. And all I have to realize is that I can do that even more. Over and over and over again, I can do even more of that. When I worked near the border in South Texas, I became a local essentially. Goodness, I'm having a hard time reading. Sorry, Uncle Becky. Let me try that again. When I worked near the border in South Texas, I became a local essentially, and we would put $100 per person each week and give it to one person in the group. The person would change weekly. Yes, yes, exactly. Like stuff like that, Uncle Becky. That's one of the things that I envisioned for this space as well. And this is the way I envisioned it. So within this system that I'm talking about, right? And this kind of abundance that comes along with it, I would also like to do that from a person base, where almost like it can be a wish, like a make a wish type of thing, where you can kind of like enter a prompt slash request, and then we're going to have a community fund. So the way that I envision it is 44% of it I would like to own myself. 44% of it will be owned by the community as a whole, and then 11 point well 44.44 44.44, and then the 11.11, technically 12, right? That other 0.000.01% can go to administrative costs or whatever. But then the other 11% goes directly to the world, to charity, to the community as a whole, right? So the immediate community, the supporter community, owns 44% of the network. The creator, I would like to own 44% of the network, and then I think 11% of the network completely goes to the earth, to everyone, and then from that 11%, we can basically fulfill dreams, literally, fulfill actual dreams in that way. There we go, dude. Yeah, 100 people, one getting 10,000 that week. The problem is the weight, right? Like that's the thing that people still have trouble with, Uncle Becky. People have a problem with waiting, and I feel this way that I interpret it could make it so that waiting no longer is a thing, because there's a threshold, you know. There's a threshold of how much you can have. Eden, beloved friend, thank you for joining us. There's a threshold of how much you can have. I had this conversation with my dad yesterday as well, where I tried to explain this understanding I have of our future to him as well. And then he mentioned to me, yeah, I would like to have infinite abundance. I would go and draw $1 billion, and then I would spend it. And then I would go the next day and draw $1 billion, and I would spend it again. And I told him, Dad, you won't be able to draw $1 billion and spend it once. I say to him. He looks at me. He's like, what do you mean? I'm saying like, Dad, if I gave you $1 billion right now, you would not be able to spend it. You're going to buy everything you've ever wanted in your entire existence, and then you're still going to have money left. And then what? And then what? And then what? Give it back. That's the idea. We're going to get everything we want, realize we have everything we want, and then start giving everything back. That's my hope for this community, at least. Eden, thank you for being part of it. We already have infinite abundance. That's why we're here. Look at everything in front of us. Exactly, Maxine. Exactly. And the fact that we have to struggle, the fact that we have to worry about where rent is coming from, the fact that we have to worry if we can pay our bills, the fact that we have to worry about these things is inhumane at this point in our existence. And we're living in the dark ages in that way still, in this way of like exploiting the individual human being to extract as much resources as possible, as conglomerates, as governments, as gangsters, like the government is basically a gangsterism organization. That's what it is. And we as a society have just been so scared, so perpetually mind, brainwashed by media, by fear mongering, by telling us, that drugs are gonna ruin our lives and ruin other people's lives because of drugs. Like that happened more than drugs ruining people's lives. People have ruined other people's lives because of drugs more than people have ruined their own lives because of drugs. I'm pretty sure I'd stand on that statistic. You know, maybe like in 50 years, gonna be like, yeah, in 2020 you said this. Look at the epidemic right now, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I mean, you were right. It seems. Is it even possible to spend $1 billion in a lifetime? I'd spend it on growing food to feed others, planting trees, cleaning the oceans, shelters for homeless. Exactly, Maxine. And that's why I want someone like you in this network with us. Someone that wants to try and spend $1 billion on themselves will not only fail, But it's also the reason we're in the state that we are in right now as humanity, is because people think that that's what they want. You cannot. There's a threshold, and you hit that threshold real quick. And if we can help people hit that threshold as a collective, then we can let go of the scarcity mindset. The government has let us down worldwide so many times. Their job is, they believe that we are unintelligent. They believe that the masses are stupid. And as a result of that, they believe that they can make decisions without consulting the masses. But they are still the masses. There is no separation, and they've convinced themselves that there is. It's why we are at the place that we are. Separation. It's all of it. All of it separation. It's a story we're telling ourselves. The story of separation will come to an end. We shall melt back into union. It blows my mind that people have 20-room mansions. Yo, why? Who wants. Dude, I hear the word 20-room mansion, and what I get is anxiety. Anxiety, extreme amounts of anxiety. I don't want to clean. I have a hard time keeping my room clean, 19 other rooms that I have to keep clean as well. Oh, seven Lamborghinis, all this flash stuff that's so meaningless. My brain, I'd gear so differently. You know, like I would, to the worst of it, to the worst of the worst of it, Maxine, get myself a mansion with like 3 bedrooms. It's not even a mansion, a house with 3 bedrooms. Like 3 bedrooms, one for my significant other and myself, one for my children, and then I mean, I could probably have an office as well. I don't have to use the room as an office, but like that's as big as I can imagine it. I like any bigger than that gives me again anxiety because I'm gonna have to be the one that keeps it clean. And then on top of that, 7 Lamborghinis. I cannot drive seven Lamborghinis at the same time. Get one Lamborghini. Even getting one Lamborghini, why? Like my ideal car now is just an EV. Technically, my ideal car in my mind is a REV, recreational EV. Hit it, bruh. Am I giving you weed monkey vibes? Shaking the cage. Smoke the motherfucking marijuana. I'm gonna smoke it in a second, friend. The materialist rat race that we've all been born into is a form of brainwashing. Literally, get out of my head. I need an art room. I knew it. As we were thinking about it, it was like, no. Actually, this is also. But we never reached 20 rooms. We would never. We didn't. Like, I mean, yeah, one room for my glass blowing, and then one room for my art, and then one room for my yoga, and then one room uh, for my float tank, yes, and then one room for my, like I'm close to 7 now, and I'm having a hard time. How do you get to 20? Damn it, dude. When does someone not stop you? Blaze, bro. Okay, maybe I'm gonna. No, just. No, not just yet. Maybe like no. God, no. Now I don't want to smoke, friend. I'm an extreme rebel. If people tell me to do things, my brain is like, stop it. No. No. Fine. Fine, but not because you told me to. Because I want to. Because I get to. Love you, friend. Got another room to to blaze. Yes. There we go. A room to blaze in, of course. Like the wind is blowing right now. Let's see if it's gonna light even. Wind isn't letting me, dude. Maybe no. Almost. Almost for a second there. No. Gang. I'm fine. I'm fine. I plan on creating currency over the next few years, utilizing automation, being only one person, and I make one action equal 10. The next phase of this heal will be extremely physical. but infinitely rewarding. I can see it with the bay. We've been talking about this a long time, man. It's just about time at this point. how much how much time is it gonna take? How many people are we gonna need? Oh man, it's gonna be a whole trip. You just made me laugh out loud. Hit that. Miss Molly, thank you. So much love to you, friend. On B, Uncle B, what do you mean by utilizing automation? Uh, from what I know, there's gonna be automatic kind of triggers on the haywire heel, as in you'll be able to, with your device, influence physical manifestation on the heel, right? Extremely physical, but infinitely rewarding. So you'll get to see something physical become manifest, and that would be the reward. And you'd be able to do so automatically, or at least it'll be automatic on the side of the hill. You would have to be the active agent. That's as much as I can say without telling you what me and Uncle Becky have been talking about, but he knows. He knows. It's happening. Slowly but surely. Legend. Thank you. Gadnook, I appreciate your love, friend. To put things into perspective, I would have had to buy a Tesla car every day. I would have had to buy a Tesla car every day of my 27 years of life to spend $1 billion. That's absurd. Thank you for that, Jovan. Thank you for that number. I love that. I love that so much because that's a good way to explain to someone how much a billion is and that they don't need even close to that much. Goodness, what a trip. You'll see. It would have to you would have to buy a Tesla every day for 29 years to spend $1 billion. You could buy a house in South Africa for the price of a Tesla as well. That's the crazy thing. You can easily. Yeah, actually, I'm not tripping. You can. Nope, not tripping. I double checked. You can easily buy at least two to three a bedroom apartment. You know, it might be an apartment, but you can easily buy yourself a 2 to 3 bedroom apartment in South Africa right now for the price of a Tesla as well. So you could buy yourself an apartment in South Africa, sure, property taxes, but 1 to 1 if nothing changes. If you invest your money well enough over the next 29 years, you probably be able to continue doing it. But you could buy yourself an apartment in South Africa for every day for 29 years if you had a book. My brain is melting just thinking about those numbers. Helio, Lilo, even the gobbledygoo joining us too. Love to you, friends. How nice to have you. It's nice to see you too. How are you doing, Lilo? How are you doing, Gob? Dude, I'm still waiting on a canvas, Brother Bear. I'm like fiending to start painting. I'm a machine specialist currently. When I'm not on the farm, I will be building several machines and mechanisms that focus on sustainability. Just hearing those words make me happy, Uncle Becky. Grateful for you, Tootie Booties. What was that? What have you done to me, Gob? Stop it, dude. You stop brain damaging me right now. I had this imagination where I had a trumpet butt, and him calling me Tootie Booties. I went beep 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 beep. Did like a little Tootie tune. Gob, why? Why, Gob? Whatever. Remotely from anywhere with a signal. Yes. Now I got a fluff. Dry doggies. Bruh. Gob. Gob. Gob nugget. How's the weed in South Africa? I grow my own, Gadnuk. I grow my own, so I'm extremely biased. If you ask me, I'll be like, I grow the best weed on planet Earth. Unrivaled. Nobody can convince me otherwise. You're like, but Mel, you don't know that. No, I don't know that. But I know that my weed makes me high, so it's the best weed in the world to me right now. Thank you for asking, Fred. You should come and try. Maybe you can tell me. Sriracha. Sriracha AF. Spicy individual. I mean, spicy individual, but you're so gentle and soft hearted. I don't think you're spicy at all, actually. Thank you for the dude. I appreciate that. Bushweed, no hydro. I mean, I grow outside with nets, so not exactly greenhouse, but shaded, mostly protected from bugs, mostly protected from direct sunlight. We have like 80% shade, I think. No, 20% shade, 80% pass through. Access to enough water, and also because of the shades hanging area, you can also kind of tie ropes to the roof. If the branch is getting so heavy that they want to droop down into the ground, you can tie them to the roof, which is also kind of nice. But yeah, it like does the thing. You smoke it and then you are like, wow, now something's different or whatever happens pretty reliably. I'm pretty sure it works. Sup, Melty? Good to see you. You too, Sriracha. It's nice to have you here, friend. I'm doing well, says Lilo. Going to read more about the method of centering today. If you learned something useful, please come and teach us as well. You're a great blog. Enjoy. Thank you, Getnook. Have an amazing day, friend. I'll see you again soon, maybe. Howdy, Sriracha. Thank you for saying love to Uncle Beckers. What a day. What a cool day. And I'm so proud of myself. I think I did like 110 pull-ups today. I went a little bit berserker because I went through a loop of sitting down for like 10 minutes, then going and doing pull-ups, then moving the hose on the yard, and then sitting down, and then doing pull-ups, and then moving the hose. And I did that so many times. Like I cannot even count how many times I did that. And every single time it felt even better. Where I was like, yeah, doing the thing, yeah, and then doing the other thing, yeah, and then doing the thing, yeah, and then doing it again. And every single time it got more and more difficult, and then it made it even more satisfying to do it. And I had this loop again where I would do push-ups, and then I would drop myself down, and I would push myself back up, and then I would say I can do one more, and then and like this is like at the end of the rep, so like 20 plus, and I'm like, yeah, I can do one more, I can do one more. I can do one more. And you would be surprised. You would be surprised how many one mores you can do. I think I did like maybe 9 one mores until you shake. It was it was so inspiring, genuinely just to notice how much more we're capable of than we actually know. We're powerful beings, friends. We just have to try and extract that depth, dive deep into ourselves. I'm still processing my dream memories. It's a 13 here. Sriracha, you actually remember your dreams? Moving the hose is the bane of watering. It is the bane of watering. It's true, Sriracha. And yet, I was like thinking, yeah, you got to have some water now, grass. But now these grass are going to get to have some water. And then I was imagining the future where all of the places that I gave water, it just being like green, actually like green becoming manifest within my reality. And I was like, yes, I love moving the hose. It's so much fun moving the hose. Thank you, Sriracha. For tuning in, friend. All of my strength is in my legs. Never have been able to do a pull up. I wasn't able to do a pull up either at one point, Maxine. I remember when I initially started exercising, I was doing pull ups in the hostel. And we had these pull up bars that would hook into the door frame. And you're in a hostel hallway, kids can see you and they look. So I'm basically starting to practice pull ups. And at this point, I'm 60 pounds overweight. So I'm pulling 60 pounds on top of myself up to this bar. And it literally starts at that point. I've already started exercising, but where I can do like three maximum in like a set, and at the third one I'm like freaking using momentum to get myself up. And these other hostile dudes that I'm like staying in the room next to me, he's like, "Oh, can I do some pull-ups as well?" And then he grabs onto the pull-up bar and then mimics or, you know, mocks the pull-up that I did in the third one, as if he can do like a single pull-up. And then after doing that single pull-up, goes into like a frenzy of doing multiple pull-ups like it's nothing. And I was like, "Oh yeah." And I kept doing pull-ups. And like this was like at the end of my high school. Yo, I manifested. I went from being 30 pounds overweight to losing that 30 pounds. I mean, was it 30 pounds? It was more, technically. I weighed 103 kilograms as a 16-year-old. So that's way too much. And I think my max weight at that point was supposed to be like 70. So 30 kilograms, 33 kilograms overweight. Then I lost 20 of those kilograms, 20 to 25 of those kilograms, and then I started gaining weight back. And it was this whole experience of watching myself become a different person, like in front of my eyes. I keep doing something, and then I literally become someone else every single day, and I'm like, manifest. And it became a little bit of an obsession at that point. But we keep going, Maxine. Like that's the thing that it taught me. I guess I'm grateful in hindsight to those people that mocked me, because goodness did it give me fire. Little did they know that I was the last person to laugh at. Like that was just gonna throw so much fire, so much fire, so much fuel to melt more. Oh yeah, it just burns all of the fat away. Oh goodness, I had a good time though. It was an experience. I literally transformed completely. For the first time in my life, I felt powerful. I thought I had control. I thought I could make a difference. And I had to do that for myself before I could believe that that is possible. In the grand hall as well. You friends have shown me how that's possible in the grand hall. Like this is a whole nother trip, I guess. And now we're doing it for everyone. We're doing it for the infinity instead of just doing it for the limit itself, the self that's going to die eventually. I try to find exercises that don't aggravate my spine. Walking seems to help the overall body, so I do that as much as the body allows. Something that I would recommend, Maxine, and please do research on this before you do, and also go look at why I'm saying it could be good, but also pay attention to your own anatomy, your own body, and how you're, in your where you are in your practice. But instead of doing pull-ups, just hanging. Like we don't hang enough as people anymore. Like many people don't even have the shoulder mobility to kind of like get their arms, above their head anymore properly. Like we don't have the shoulder mobility as most humans anymore. It's also something that's good to focus on. If not pull-ups, just the extension. I'm in London. Where are you? I'm in South Africa, friend. Thank you for joining me. It has been suggested to start with wall ups with resistance bands until I can build the strength for pull ups. That sounds fantastic to me. Pull ups are essential. Get it, King. Thank you, friend. They are very beautiful, fundamental movements. Being able to pull yourself up on something is good strength to have. A lot of people don't believe you can manifest physical changes. I also did that, and I'm proud of who I've become, and we're going to keep becoming. Like I genuinely believe now at this point that movement is an acknowledgement of self betterment and life, where something that moves is quintessentially something that is alive. And if I continue to move, I will continue to live. And I believe that not only is that going to be the reality of our physical forms, but we're going to be manifesting ways for our physical forms to continue moving beyond what normal people could move as, right? The blunt narwhal, my bed comforter used to have the exact same pattern as your shirt on it as a kid. Very interesting. Came back, friend, to be manifested. For you to see this moment. It's so true, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Jovan, for that encouragement, friend. It just brought some. Still having a lot of pain with my thromboids and spine. It is a slow and gentle process. And the fact that those are the words you're using, Maxine, so many, and this is not again me trying to say other people are wrong for doing it one way or another, but creating contrast. Some people say, oh, I have this rhomboid issue and my spine hurts, so I cannot move, I cannot do anything. I'm just cursed to suffer for the rest of my life. This is my reality. And then there is our beloved Maxine in this moment. Joy Vive is here as well. I see you, friend. Beloved Maxine, instead of kind of falling victim to, circumstance, makes manifest something different. Saying instead of, oh, this is my reality and there's nothing I can do to change it, saying it is slow and a gentle process. Maxine, I look forward to hearing you get better. I want to share this with your friends as well. And Maxine, like, call me out if I wasn't supposed to, but Maxine had a bunch of bottles of water with like messages written on it to manifest. Put them around a bunch of crystals, lit a stick of Palo Santo, bless these bottles of water, and every single one of them blessed with this intention of putting water molecules with love, with energy, with healing intention into her body. And I had this feeling, this imagination that on a very visceral level, if she drinks X amount, let's just say, 60, 70 liters of water, she has literally drank her entire body weight in water. And those water molecules have to go somewhere. So to imagine her replacing herself with loving energy, with intentional, vibrationally charged energy, and then doing so, even though it might not be a complete renewal of self within the first body weight of water that you drink, doing that over and over again over years, what is that going to do to us? I look forward to seeing you manifest infinite health. I look forward to all of us being able to do that. Thank you for teaching us, beloved Maxine. Hanging actually causes a lot of alleviation. There we go. There we go. Thank you for letting me know as well. Hardest thing for me to do is bulking up and finding the right foods to eat, especially on a budget. Dude, name okay? I have a hard time eating sometimes. Like I have to do it on a schedule, otherwise I don't get to do it at all. It's difficult eating like properly enough to bulk to just stay healthy in general. I know the struggle, friend. You got this, though. We have all of the information we need right now. I met someone who would eat a peanut butter sandwich with every meal because he was so frail. He was able to gain a substantial weight. Thank you. It's possible. It definitely is possible, Maxine. I highly suggest the yoga swing, the single ribbon style. A yoga swing, the single ribbon style. I wouldn't actually be opposed to a yoga swing, brother Becky. I was thinking about that a while ago. Something to hook my leg into and then lean forward with so that it can stretch my hamstring and, you know, yeah, my hamstring and my cat. Why am I having a hard with freaking words right now? Hamstring and quad, with like complete leg extension. I don't know what the swing looks like though. Thank you for the suggestion, Uncle Becky. I think trying to hang with your arms on a bar is good for young people to promote height gain. I don't think that's why you do it necessarily. It's just more from this perspective of human anatomy and the fact that we used to do this a lot as beings. We used to hang a lot as beings, and that there is a lot of muscles, connective tissue that allows your arm to lift up like this, and that connective tissue doesn't actually get used a lot. So doing that, like allowing yourself that range of movement, is good for you in and of itself. It's okay, Malty. I trust you, friend. You see me. I do. So much love to you, friend. It depends on how far you are on your journey. It's kind of hit a brick wall. I weigh around 145 pounds, which goes a long way. Since I was 98 before. That is amazing, friend. That is amazing. You have manifested that, dude. That is insane. You can continue doing that, friend. I believe in you. I love you too. I'm a one percenter medically. A body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. I use modern medicine combined with holistic, and I'm on vacation. Miss Molly, thank you for letting your body that rest, for giving yourself this moment. Thank you for taking care of yourself. You know, like I believe at least, we take care of the whole and taking care of ourselves as well. I did on the playground in grade school. 36 years later, I'm 5'10". Yeah, must be that. Freaking hanging on the bars. The hack, the ultimate hack to just get super tall. What time do your do your yoga sessions? Do you do your yoga sessions? They are basically at 3:30 my time, Lilo. So about 30 minutes, 35 minutes before I start these streams. I do post the link on my Discord as well. Underneath the notifications, there's a Yoga Floga tab where I send the Zoom link. You don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to, but the space is open to you, friend. Thank you for asking. The swing is great for spinal traction. Also, you can hang upside down in a very comfortable way. Really? So, hanging upside down is actually a big one for me, Brother Bear. How does it work? Can you like hoist yourself up? I don't know if that's safe. Maybe if you like lay down first. It also allows your organs to drain toxins because they're always upright. Like, this is crazy to me, Uncle Becky. You know, because I had a thought about this today. While I was like waiting, I don't know if I was waiting, but while I was getting ready, I had this moment of like meditation where I was hanging low on my bed, you know, hanging my head off the bed, shoulders a little bit off the bed, getting my head lower than my chest. And I had a good time in that space. I could feel, you know, kind of like the arteries puffing up on my forehead. So I noticed that there was more blood flow going to my brain, and I saw a benefit in that. And then I had this moment of imagining like the tools, the yoga tools of the future, you know, these elaborate almost machines that have like these two arms, robot arms that can kind of help you get into like certain stretches, move you upside down, allow you like I was like tripping out, dude. And now the fact that you're bringing the yoga swing into this space, that there's like a low tech version of something that I want for some reason, it really excites me a little bit. Can you send me like some photos or like a link to what exactly you're talking about? Wherever you are, 2 hours prior. No, there we go. Thank you, Jovan. I appreciate that. It's time for me to go. Miss Molly, thank you for tuning in for even a second, friend. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you. Have an amazing day. I hope this space helped. It also helped that I would think to myself, I want to be tall over and over again. Manifestation is real. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Thanks, five. I think that's cute to have. Uh, I dated someone taller than me for the first girlfriend I had. Simone. She was quite a bit taller than me. And on top of that, she liked wearing high heels. So she was significantly taller than me. Like this much taller than me. She was into that. And I didn't care. Other people would ask me, and I would be like, why do you care? Why do you care, dude? And it's like, because you have to look up to her. And I'm like, but I do look up to her. What do you mean? Oh, goodness. Human beings. Oh, this person is a few centimeters taller than me. Must mean something. Genetics, yeah, goodness. And I'm saying this being grateful that I'm tall enough, you know. I'm tall enough. I'm like 1'8", 179 technically centimeters. So I don't know what it is in feet. I don't usually meet myself in feet. meet myself, measure myself in feet. Our word for measure in Afrikaans is meet. Ek gaan myself gaan meet. I'm gonna go and measure myself. One more question. What was worth reading today? What was worth reading today was a quote on what you are in your fundamental essence is God Himself, Herself, Itself. Here we go. What you are in your essential being is God Herself. And I only said God Herself today, but there are other options for God itself, God Himself, God Herself. What you are in your fundamental being, that part of you that is outside slash inside of all of the other parts of you, the part of you that remains when everything else melts away, is God, is you. I had straps that hang in the tree outside. I would hang when I wanted to use it. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I've seen you go on like a swing with your foot hooked into the loop, but nothing under that. Talk about being intimidating when you're so damn shy. Yeah, yeah. Like in being intimidated by a tall woman. Like I feel I got to have a weird upbringing. You know, like one of the archetypes in my mind for some reason is a Futurama episode. You know, the Death by Snoo Snoo episode. And these Amazonian women. And this is like me watching it as like a 15-year-old, you know. So you know what 15-year-olds are like. These Amazonian women walking on them, and they're like, "You're gonna get death by snooze." And to you friends who haven't seen this they set up the scene by these dudes being like locked up into a prison, and then there are these skeletons, you know, with like crushed pelvises, completely crushed pelvises, but extreme smiles on their faces, skeletons with extreme smiles on their faces. And they're like, what happened to them? And they were like, oh, they got death by snoo snood. And then this extreme horror, and then extreme glee, happiness, and then extreme horror on their faces. That is like that has been to me so many things in life ever since. And yeah, well, like I don't feel as a result of that I'm intimidated by much because everything is that it's beautiful and terrifying at the same time, and whatever you choose to see is what it's gonna be. People say I look like Wolverine. He's supposed to be 5'3" in the comics. That's really short. Little. I mean, it's not that short, but like for some reason the Wolverine is a big character in my mind usually. Thank you for sharing that little fact name, okay? I get a lot of comments on my itty bitty shoes. Jovan, you are a complete being. A complete Jovan. Do you mind when people comment on your shoes? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I know my shoes are just tiny, damn it. I'm a small human being. I'm very efficient. I take up little space. I don't have to use as many resources. You buffoon. You absolute inefficient. I'm looking for a specific insult. Look, oath. There we go. Oath is the word I was looking for. You oath. Humping around, stomping on the ground, stepping on flowers and little birds. I'm tiny because I love Mother Earth. Oh goodness, I appreciate it. Love to you, Lilo. Thank you for asking, friend. You know how many cute styles are only available in small sizes? I'm size 8 or 8.5 depending on the shoes, so you don't get to wear the small stuff. The crushed pelvis has made me lose at Lamar. Yes, exactly. Like see, it kills me every time. Right, Jeff Bitch. So much love to you. Gateway Pro says Shannon's incredible. I would love. I usually get. I have to squat down a little to get hugs. Otherwise, I'm just smothering the other people. I'm just imagining, you know, the first time that I ever meet Maxine and Shannon, you know, and I walk up to them and they're just like towering above me, and I'm like, yes, of course, goddesses. How could I expect anything else? How could I expect anything else? The thing that boggles my mind is how are women at 6 foot tall taller than men at 6 foot? It is a conceptual thing, friend. You know, it's like the amount of women that end up being 6 foot is lower than the amount of men that end up being 6 foot. So the amount of women that are 6 foot are taller than the amount of men that are 6 foot. Yes, this is exactly how it works. Clothing shopping is awful. Ever consider making things yourself, Shan? Hopefully it'll be easier in the future, but I would like to imagine how cool it would be if you could have something make clothing in your space. So as you could, I mean, maybe we could do it in VR and it'd be easier doing that, but to be able to manifest something into reality that you designed virtually would be pretty lit. I'm sorry. Just because men aren't really 6 foot. There we go. There we go. Lens sync. They went down in price a lot. I need to order a few. It's great with friends. Thank you, Uncle Becky. Would be pretty cool to do it as like a workshop thing as well, actually. Seeing you seeing things, Uncle Becky. Fractals getting connected. Divine timing. Thank you, Maxine. Size and different depending on the gender. Yeah, that's true. Being tiny, I feel like I can go by all rogue and unnoticed beneath everyone's line of sight, just like stabbing people's backs, swiping coin purses. I feel it completely. Maxine, yes, we should play Dungeons and Dragons one day when we can do it in person. I don't know, like unfortunately, Dungeons and Dragons is like perpetual. You know, like you have to keep doing it for like weeks to really progress in a campaign. We'll figure it out. I'm sure. It's just a matter of time. Joy Vive is tall as well. I'm tall. So many dudes really can't handle it. I could care less how tall or short some guy is. It's genetics. Can't do anything about it. There we go, Joy Vive. Exactly. You know, like judging someone for their genetics because that is what you're doing. If you're judging someone for their height, if they're taller than you or shorter than you, you're judging them for their genetics. You know, I feel the future we're heading into is going to be more concerned with genetic racism than actual racism, you know, where genetic discrimination is going to be much more looked down upon than what we've looked down upon on normal racism. You know, like racism is bad. Don't get me wrong, absolutely. But judging someone for their genetics, you know, the way they look, the how tall they are, that is like yes. See, and I mean technically that's race as well. You know, if you want to get down to that level as well, genetics is just the code this physical machine is running on. You are not this physical machine. You are the thing behind it. The awareness. That awareness is in all of us. Even in insane, especially in insane. Dude, yes, he's insane with the amount of awareness that's coming from you right now, man. I know. I know it's insane. What the hell, bro? I love you, dude. Thank you for the love you're sending me. Giving him a smile salute. Jovan, ever remember. What's new with you, Joe? Tell us about you, dude. What has been going on your side? Since you're from South Africa, do you have any thoughts on Elon Musk? I think Elon Musk has done more good for humanity than he has done a disservice to humanity. I do not believe he is perfectly pure in the same way that I'm not perfectly pure, in the same way that none of us are perfectly pure. But I do believe he has the intention of humanity at heart. I would like to believe that. I would like to believe that about the people that is going to make the biggest difference in the future we're heading into. And for what it's worth, I believe he tries to do net good. I believe all of us are. I don't believe anyone is actually evil. I just believe we do what we can with what we have, where we are, and that we're all fundamentally good. We just don't know how to be good for one another right now, but we're figuring it out. That's neat of you. Nah, you can do a D&D one shot in a day. Okay, that's a plan. That's a plan. Maybe that would be the way to do it then. Probably when I'm in America. You know, I would like to come to America for like a year when I come through. Just like stay there for a year. My ex was 5'8". He loved my war heels rather than getting insecure. Nice. That is how it should be. You know, and it will be that way again, Maxine. Like it's a new age. There are people that are more mature. than how tall you are, your genetics. Been running a lot, been trying to learn Spanish too. You absolute machine, you. Chauvin, learning Spanish and running at the same time. Yeah, one marathon is in the know. Two marathons, all the same. I respect all respect to short and tall people. All respect to all people. I agree, friend. All respect to all people. Peace, love, unity, and respect. Hell yeah, I slacked on Dutch and I feel it in my conversations. Slower and worse on listening. Need to pick it up. Consistency is key. How have you been slacking, dude? You live in the country now. How many times per day do you like interact with people that speak it to you? Or do you have mostly English friends? Insane. You have mostly English friends? You have a schedule or something? I mean, Jovan is a pretty efficient being, dude. Like, and I wasn't lying about that. Jovan has levels. So probably, I don't know. Maybe she'll let us know. Maybe she won't give away her code. Keep it close to home. That's incredible. I've got great grandmother's sewing machine, but I haven't yet to learn how to use it. Is Maxine the same height as me? Maybe she is. Tell us your height again, Maxine. You said 5'9" and then 6'4" with heels. I might have it wrong. Maybe 5'8". Same height as me. I am mentally 8 foot tall. Yes. Oh goodness. Mentally, I don't go tall in this direction. I go tall in this direction. Does that make sense? When I was trying to picture, do I picture myself taller than I am? I was no longer a human being in picturing myself. My first boyfriend was 6'7", and then I had a DJ friend that was 6'9". I miss his hugs. Goodness, I can only imagine. And like in that case, you probably feel again like you can actually be completely surrounded. Gateway. I feel mentally 5 foot tall. I love that, Jovan. This is so much. You friends are so beautiful. That's a wildly big jump. 5'10" and 6'4" in heels. 5'10". Thank you, Maxine. Yeah, dude, heels can be pretty stonky. Needing to respect them just means you don't by default. So as a short king, I'm offended. Gonna cry? Gonna piss your pants? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sensei. I do respect you, oh. You fucking tell me I respect you. Are you short? I didn't even know up until this point, Now suddenly, all of this respect I had for Sensei, surely, now all of his. Like he had a respectometer that was like completely full, and now realizing that Sensei is actually a short king. Freaking insane. Does South Africa have any cool wildlife? Yeah, like quite a bit of cool wildlife. I think we pretty much have everything. We don't really have leopards, but we do have cheetahs. But yeah, almost everything. Dude. Like we have all of the cool wildlife. What don't we have? We don't have kangaroos. We don't have koala bears. We don't have pandas. But the rest, we probably have, dude. Like there's a lot of animals here in South Africa. We have dedicated spaces for them, fortunately, so they don't roam around in the streets. I don't like slowing down. I run a 3 mile 5K every other day, and I work upper body the other days, just 45 minutes or so. And I've been practicing Spanish nightly until I fall asleep. And I'm pretty sure that your ability to read Spanish and learn Spanish is increased, or the capacity thereof is increased as you're doing all of these exercises as well. I don't see myself as short. Height seems like a topic strictly for sharing insecurities, lol. Exactly. Like you friends don't know how tall I am. I don't think I've really ever went into a conversation about how tall I am. You friends will have to see how tall I am when you see me. you know, see me for the first time, looking for me. and then suddenly I'm like up here close to you, like stomach height, maybe like belly button height, little melt. Hello, and you're like, what the fuck? What's what's this? Is there another one of you? And they're like, no, this is how big I am. And you're like, oh goodness, Mel, people are gonna kidnap you, dude. They're gonna steal you, keep you in their closets. Oh no, can you protect me? I will protect you, little Mel. What am I doing right now? I look forward to the day. Maybe it'll be a surprise. Maybe you'll be unsurprised. Maybe you'll be like, yeah, of course, this is how it was. It's insane. On the scale of our planet, we're all short, dude. All of us. None of us are tall. Even if you're the tallest person on planet Earth, on the scale of the planet, you're like the exact same height. And quintessentially, I'm 6 foot tall. You are here now and loved in that presence. I'm gonna pull a card. Let's see what the universe wants to speak to us through sacred geometry. No, darn. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's insane. You gonna catch up, dude? What have you been doing, brother bear? You're no longer writing EUCs, man. Where are you getting your core exercises from? I mean, you still are balancing on skates, I guess. Carta! Yeah. Yes, thank you, Shad. Height cannot determine our sense of self-worth. Nothing. Nothing other than you can tell yourself how much you're worth. And I believe that amount, the the resource with which you can tell yourself how much you're worth, is infinite. You just have to find that side of yourself. Thank you, Lilo. I know that you did, friend. Lamau, I laughed out loud at the idea of you being my belly button height, only because that would make everything I see on my phone at actual size. Yes, exactly that. How funny would that be, right? Like this whole time, I've just been like super tiny, right? Like you're holding me in your hand right now, so I'm just like this big. You don't have wombats. I'm obsessed with them. They have armored butts and poop cubes. I know about that, but I forgot it up until this moment. Thank you, Joy V, for sharing that with me again. Yes, wombats. The fact that they poop cubes to me is the part that's actually weird. Like my mind, unfortunately, I was supposed to be an engineer. So when I think about stuff like that, my engineering brain thinks about the mechanics of how his ass turns his turds into little cubes. And that's like cursed information. My engineering brain is like, bruh, please, we do not want to figure this problem out. Please, don't make us. And it's like, is this how it works? Is that how it's I used to be obsessed with my short stature when I was young, trying everything to get taller. And then I started to lift weights, and that feeling quickly disappeared. Actually, it might be a benefit to be short. You get stonked quicker, friend. You get super jacked very easily. It's actually a benefit. I've been skating, but meeting all different factions over here. I'm getting a picture of the culture. Do you like it, Sensei? If you're getting a picture, I guess now is the time to ask if you like it or not. Do you want to stay? Is it communicating good vibes, good values, good to you? Do let us know. Poo, not boo. Yeah, I know. They literally poop cubes. How is that possible? How do they poop cubes of all things? Card number 24. I need to go to the mountain. We have this little dead volcano on our farm. And the rocks that spewed out of it, or the magma that spewed out of it, was this iron rock. It's super heavy. And it's gorgeous. Every single time I go there, that place communicates with me, but I haven't been there in a while. Maybe I'll go today. There was a 4'11" strength lifter that participated in the Olympics. Dude, I'm serious. Being short is literally an advantage if you want to get strong. Like the connections between your muscles and your limbs has to be shorter as a result of that, which means you can generate more traction force. It's literally an advantage to have. I like it. I do want to stay, and I could be an anchor if I did start running events where I invite people from different groups together. There we go. There we go, brother. A facilitator, a spiritual space creator. When I had a conversation with an AI and it asked me what I do, I told her I'm a spiritual space creator. And she was like, cool. You, brother's insane, is a spiritual space creator as well, man. Thank you for bringing people together. But to be honest, I'm looking forward to moving to England. I can get to know my family better and get a job which reflects how I view myself. England's insane. You do realize they are arresting people, like straight up arresting people for writing EUCs in England right now, right? Because of a law from, I think, 1835 or something. Why England, dude? England. That's insane. Yo, bro. England of all people. All places, technically. I mean, I respect you completely, and I look forward to watching your journey there as well, but England to me is like the last place I can imagine myself going at this point. Just because of the amount of restriction at this point, right? Like there is it's an expensive city to live in. I have so the reason I'm as feeling as strongly about this is because Christian's family, his sister and her husband and his cousins, they live in England. Both of them are working as microbiologists, I think. Microbiologists or something like that. They work with like basically like help with the whole COVID thing. Both of them are working. They're having a hard time living in the UK, dude. They have two kids. They're having a hard time living in the UK with both of them working as microbiologists. Like, yes, dude, I want better for you than that, man. That's where I'm coming from right now. It's your choice, always, and I'm gonna be supportive of you always, nonetheless as well. But UK, because my whole family lives there, lol. I could get to know both my grandparents and cousins and baby niece and nephews and all that. I've been disconnected from all of my aunts and uncles my whole life. You can go and stay there. Like have you asked them if they enjoy living there? Like that would be a good question to maybe like have, dude. At first, England, England, man, it's so expensive, dude. Yo, I understand the family thing though. Like it's a fractal you never got to experience, and even if you have to pay the price, literally, financially, and physically for where it is you want to live, if that's England, you will get infinitely rewarded in the family time and the connection you get within that. The goal is still to live in the Netherlands, but yeah, I'm not going back to Canada. Okay. It's interesting to me that you feel that strongly about it. Would you like to share? Would you like to share why you feel that strongly? The world is a ghetto, no place to hide. It do be like that. I've been getting more and more hope for South Africa as of late. I'm like feeling pretty hopeful that South Africa is actually getting their shit together a little bit. I can get a job in the UK, wait out the 3 months and go back. There we go. Why would you be able to get a job easier in the UK than in the Netherlands, Brother Bay? Eva, op het blaf jij? Dat is niks hier om te blaf voor niet. Dank je. Like, what is the difference? And while you type that message, I'll read you this one. This card asks you to hear the stories the stones have to tell. What will it take for you to decipher their messages? Seek to quiet your mind and listen with your intuitive senses. Stones reveal meaning when you pay attention and tune into their ancient stories. As you sit with crystals, petroglyphs, and stones at sacred sites, or simply in nature, recognize that you will hear their messages when you learn to listen. Finally, this card requests that you understand how learning to listen will improve your ability to understand far more than these stone stories. Sure. You were asked to consciously listen and truly hear every facet of creation, including the people around you and the voice of your own heart. It's like completing most of the quests in a starting map. You can go back, but there's no more excitement in the next zone. Okay, that makes me happy to hear. If it was like, yeah, dude, Canada was like so wrecked for this reason. That's kind of what I thought it was about, but I like that explanation even more. I'm happy that you get to explore a new map, dude. You know, like this whole map exploring idea is why I've been like fiending for an EUC, dude. Fiending, man. I want an EUC so bad right now, but that's like a big ticket item, dude. Yassi. That thing's expensive. It's gonna take me a while to manifest that. But we're getting there. One step at a time. But yeah, map exploring, dude. Map exploring. I hope you get the EUC in the Netherlands, dude. I hope they figure that shit out, man. I think it would be cool for you to go and explore in that way. Poppy shoot. It's nice to see you. And it's because I want a new career in industry. To get the high skilled visa, I need a senior role to do what I truly want. I'm looking for entry level or medium level roles. They don't pay the 4,840 a month that I need for the visa. Okay. I mean, you have to start somewhere, Brother Bay. You can't just expect a senior role right off the bat. But the stupid thing is that they expect you to earn a certain amount in order to get the visa, which is, backwards. I get the trip that you must be going through, dude. I'm so sorry. I wish I could help. Eventually, I will be able to. I'm just gonna take me time. It's gonna take me some time. Keep believing. It's insane. Keep believing. Keep trusting, dude. Maybe it'll take me like, I think at most 11 years. No more than 11 years. Okay. No more than 11 years. 11 years, and then we gotta figure it out. I hope everyone has a terrific day. I love you all so very dearly. Melt and all of you amazing friends, as we love you. Dear Shannon, thank you for joining us, friend. What a pleasure to have you here with us. My dogs are bilingual, and yet I'm not. Are your dogs smarter than I? uh, oh, that's hilarious. A part animator. I mean, they understand tone. I think you understand the nuance of tone as well. I think you're super duper clever, JB. Super duper duper. Again, Poppy Shoe, love to you, friend. You silly. I love you, friends. Thank you for the love to Trevor and for sharing yours with us as well. Yeah, it's a really high price if you're 30 plus, but that doesn't exist in the UK. Plus, I already have my British passport. That is nice. Have a great day or night. Have an amazing you. Have an amazing moment. Have an amazing now. I love you, friends, into infinity. I'll see you again for tomorrow's. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye, everyone. Cheers. You want to see the? You see that? Little treat for you, YouTube friends, as a thank you for you being here still with me. It means more than I can say. There you go. This camera doesn't look right. Excuse the close up for a second. Peppy is just like, yeah, there's something. There's something there. There is something. There must be something. Where is the something? It's somewhere. I'm sure. It must be somewhere or something. I need to go and get it. Somewhere there is something. Peppy, what's your about that? Where is it? Where is that something? Where is the something that's somewhere? Is there something there again? Is there something? Oh, where? Where is the something? Thank you, friends. Thank you so much. Ah, yes. Bork at the sunset, Pepper. You friends deserve the world. I'm happy to be sharing this beautiful moment with you. Thank you for sharing this beautiful moment with me. I love you so dearly. I'll see you again tomorrow, dear friends. Goodbye, everyone.